Well, usually if you want to go off-roading with a Porsche, you all know that you go with the Cayman, or maybe the Porsche Panamera, or maybe the Taycan, or maybe the Macan, or maybe the Macan GTS. Well, today I'll be telling you about a surprising 911, which is the Dakar 2022. Yes, and you have guessed it right. Today I'll be telling you more about the new Porsche 911 Dakar 2022. Why? Because I'm Junior, and you're watching Junior on Cars. Of the price tag of the 911 Dakar. Well, the 911 Dakar will cost you around 222,000 euros. Well, there's no options such as in climate control and all of that that you get in normal 911s. Well, there is a specific option which can actually make it more expensive than you think, and is a ridiculous option, but which I'll get into a little bit later. Well, let's get into the performance of the 911 Dakar. Well, the 911 Dakar still has a standard 3-liter twin turbo flat 6, which has more power than the normal flat 6 produces, which is around 480 brake horsepower and 570 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 does it under 3.4 seconds, even though they actually timed it with Pirelli Scorpion off-roading tires. That is very impressive. I'm not gonna lie, that is very, very impressive. Well, top speed, it is 149 miles per hour, so it is still impressive even though it is on off-roading. Well, I have seen somewhere that it limits itself to around 105 miles per hour, so they actually surpassed it without the limiter on, which is around 149 miles per hour, but the car can set itself back to limit itself to around 105 miles per hour to protect the tires from bursting, because you're in off-roading tires, so don't be ridiculous and do something stupid. Well, Porsche hasn't fiddled with the gearbox and given it, a manual or whatever. They just kept it with a normal 8-speed PDK, so nothing much has changed on the gearbox side, so it's still a normal. What has changed actually is the body of the car. Yes, it is still a normal 911, but what has changed is the suspension, yes, and the tires, as you can notice, and all the fiddly stuff that off-roading people put on top of their cars, which is a bit ridiculous. Well, let's get into why the suspension, how high in simple terms is the suspension. Well, the suspension of the 911 Dakar is around 5 millimeters higher than the normal 911. Well, you can actually see it on the screen, literally. Well, besides that, you can actually, if you feel like that is not enough for you, you can actually lift it, because there's a lifting system in the car which can raise both axles to the Dakar then further than 30 millimeters of suspension travel, which Porsche states is ambitious of off-roading. So I don't know if Porsche says that in their own words to put it in good words with other off-roading cars. They shouldn't forget that most people take the Macan GTS off-roading, or maybe a G-Wagon, but let's leave that for now and let me not say anything bad about Porsche, because Porsche is one of the cars I'm gonna have in my garage, so I don't want to really have a bad record with them. Well, let's leave that. You can actually go down. What I mean go down, you can actually lift the car down to a normal race height. So if you feel like the car is too high for you, which is around 30 millimeters, you can actually drop it a little bit down to normal road height, that you can drive better on the road and all of that. Well, let's leave that as section, and let's get into the launch control. Well, Porsche actually have fiddled a little bit with the launch control, which means that they have given a little bit of a gravel friendly launch control in simple terms. Well, if you have seen more of rally cars that go down a little bit to launch, that is actually to give it a little bit of traction on the gravel to give it more performance. Well, Porsche has also jumped into that style of graveling. Obviously, it is a gravel car. I mean, it's a Dakar car. Dakar cars are supposed to be good in gravel. Well, Porsche actually, like I said, have fiddled with the launch control and have gave it a friendly gravel launch control, like I said, which allows it to give more wheel spin to give you more traction on the line. But I think it's a bit ridiculous, because I mean, if you're off-roading, you don't really you're not gonna drag race it on gravel, sometimes, or on snow. Well, many people do do launch control it on snow. It's acceptable, but gravel, I mean, you're not gonna do it in the sense of Abu Dhabi or Dubai. It's kind of ridiculous in simple terms. But Porsche do claim that it's actually for good use, or if you want to do some mountain running or whatever you want to do. Well, Porsche claims that the Dakar is actually 1 kilo more, 1,505 kilos. Well, that's how much the Dakar actually weighs, which is 10 kilos more than the normal 911 GTS. It's a bit ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. it's not really, it is fast, I know, but the 911 GTS is lighter and much more faster because it's not on Dakar. It's not on Dakar tires, which are Pirelli in simple terms, which is off-roading tires. So obviously the 911 GTS is gonna just fly fast on the straight line. But Porsche do claim that the standard comes. Porsche do claim that it is good for the off-roading part of it. So the 1 kilos is a bit of an improvement for it in simple terms for off-roading. Well, let's leave that and let's jump into the inside of the car. Well, the inside of the car, Porsche has not changed much. Well, what actually has changed is that you get a roll bar at the back and also some bucket seats which have a little bit of carbon fiber at the back, and also the dashboard, and nothing has not changed. You just get bucket seats and all of that. Well, suspension wise, you still get, normal suspension, so it isn't being like tweaked or anything to give you more of a bad back on everything when you go off-roading. But Porsche do claim that the Pirelli tires were supposed to be an option and all that stupid ridiculous prices. Well, the engineers at Porsche actually said no, there's no need for it. They can actually just drive it as a normal car on those Pirelli Scorpion tires, which are off-roading tires to be specific. But if you feel like, apparently Porsche says, if you feel like you are a coward, you can actually go and have an option of going to road tires, which I think is a bit ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. Porsche should have not given that option because, I mean, you're gonna go off-roading with it's a Dakar car. It has a Dakar badge at the back, so obviously you're gonna go more off-roading than driving it on the road. Well, if you do drive it on the road, you can just lower it down, and it's still, apparently Porsche engineers say it is comfortable with those Pirelli off-roading tires. So it is a bit ridiculous. I mean, let me say, you want to go off-roading, you're not going to go off-roading with regular Porsche tires because they're regular Porsche tires, so they're not going to give you any grip or any momentum to go anywhere. So I think Porsche should have not given that option. I think the Pirellis are much more better because they say there's no tire noise or tire ache or whatever. Well, let me jump into that option. Like I said, that is extremely expensive, which that option is actually called a heritage paint job, which Porsche calls it that it is a unique heritage paint job. Well, as you all know, most Porsches such as the 918 and the Porsche GT3 Touring have the specific painting which has the number or whatever on it. That is actually around 26,000 euros on this car, specifically the 911 Dakar. So it is a bit of an expensive option, literally. That is a little bit of an expensive option. So I don't think it's really necessary. I can just have a normal color on the Porsche 911 Dakar and just take it to Yanamaz, and Yanamaz will just put in some stickers or whatever is needed to make it look much more cooler. Well, owners can have numbers on it, like I said. That sticker is that number, which you can choose any number you can want. You can have 323 or 959 or maybe 918 or whatever number you want. So it is up to the owner what number they can put. Like I said, I would just take it to Yanamaz, and Yanamaz can just put that sticker or maybe a specific color that I want, wrap it in simple terms, and just give it a better feeling. I mean, a better look in my specific look that I want. Well, besides that, honestly speaking, for my theory, I think the Porsche 911 Dakar is pretty good. It looks nice. It is a bit sensible, but I think it's a bit thick for Porsche. I mean, they could have took another car. I mean, giving it maybe the Cayman or whatever. But if Porsche thinks the 911 badge is worthy of the Dakar name, again, I think it's Porsche's decision. I mean, that's a great decision, but it's a bit thick also. I mean, Porsche has been doing good at Turbo S and all of that. So I think maybe these customers that also want to take the Porsches off-roading, maybe that's why Porsche made the 911 Dakar. I don't know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah. What do I think of the car? Well, the Porsche 911 Dakar is pretty good. I mean, it is still a proper 911. It's fast. It's still good. It's still nimble. Still has good performance and all of that. But on my theory, honestly speaking, I mean, for Porsche fans, it is good. I mean, it is an off-roading machine. You can just go off-roading with it and everything. But honestly speaking, I think Porsches are supposed to be more sensible and all of that, and give you more performance on the road, not on the gravel or on, sands in Abu Dhabi and all of that. If I would really have a Porsche 911, I would just think have a Turbo S or maybe just a Carrera S or maybe something else. I don't really think I would have a 911 Dakar, the modern age one. I would just have the older Carrera S version because I think the Carrera S 911 just looks much more better than the newer one. I mean, it sounds better. I mean, it sounds actually off proper off-roading, such as this one. So if you like the video, please give it a like, and if you want to watch more videos of mine, hop onto the main channel to go and watch more videos of mine. And if you want to learn more about my channel, hop onto our Instagram page, which is Junior on Cars, and more content coming soon. So bye.